Wanted to do a small update about what happened with my Enduro motocross accident and the lessons I learned from that experience. So, what happened? I was riding Enduro bikes with three of my buddies. We were doing it at a hard Enduro track, which was happening in Latvia. There was an event 2 weeks before, which had this actual event, hard enduro, and then we went to do it 2 weeks later, the same track. So we went up a hill, everything okay, me feeling great. One day before that training session, which was on a Saturday, I was going also with different guys to do enduro biking, and I actually hit a tree and I hurt my left side. And I was telling this Sunday to my friends who I was riding with. So Sunday we ride, I go up the hill, and then we go down a hill, and that was a very steep downhill. So and it was with a lot of clay, so the track was a little bit with clay, and it was quite slippery. So I went down and I was trying to do it very, very slowly as possible, right? I hit my brakes, and I remember my rear tire starting to slide because it was very slippery. It started to slide. And I remember, if typically your bike goes straight down, I remember my bike going like this. And I remember seeing that there's like two trees, which I see here, which I tried to avoid. And the only thing I can remember, I was also braking with my front brakes. And the only thing I can remember was that probably, but this is also a little bit in the dark, probably I pressed my front brake too hard and I did like a flip to the front. And then only thing I remember, then it's like black, everything's black. I remember a little bit like flying, hitting the ground really hard and hitting it like 4 times. And then once I hit and I was rolling, I hit the ground, I opened my eyes, and I remember I can't get my breath, I can't breathe. It's like for like 10 seconds, I can't breathe. And then I'm sleeping and I'm riding with my bike. I remember, I'm riding with my bike. And then after probably, I didn't know how much time, but my friends said 10 seconds, they shaking me, waking me up. And then I remember I see 2 of my friends looking at me. And then, I'm in a helmet and I only see them. And they're like, "Can you feel your legs?" And I was moving my toes. It's oh yeah, I feel them. And then from that point on, I had not seen my bike yet because I couldn't actually turn. It was very painful to breathe. I could breathe like these 1/3 of a breath because I felt something on my side and my ribs. The friends thought I maybe broke a rib or something like that. So they tried to, after 1 minute, they tried to pick me up. We understand that they pick me up and I'm like, oh my shit, it's hurting. I can't walk, I can't stand by myself. So we understand we can't get down because it was a lot of downhills, a lot of uphills. So we understand we can't get me down. So one of the friends is I need to call the ambulance. So they call the ambulance, and then one of the friends goes to take one of our cars to just go meet the ambulance, because it's very hard to find where we are because this is in a forest. So in actually 20-25 minutes, the ambulance comes. They come with these things you put me on and where you can carry me. So they put me on the thing where you can carry me, and then they were carrying me, and then we needed to slide because it was so steep you couldn't carry it normally. So they put me down and they slided me a little bit down. So we went to the ambulance. We get to the ambulance car. They put me some drugs, so it's pain reliefs. They're asking me what happened. They put me on this cuff, so I can't basically do this. It was very, very tight. And then we go to the ambulance, and in the ambulance they cut me open, and they broke my the stuff I had, because I had protection gear from the dirt bikes. They broke that, and I say, don't break my leg shields because they're very expensive. And don't break those. And I'm thinking about that. So don't break those. And then they put me into the a thing that scans the whole body, and it sees your bones, it sees your fluids. So in the that thing, I don't know how to say it in English. So put me in, take me out, and then the girl comes and she's like, "We see internal bleeding. We think that your spleen is injured. And there's two options. One, we can not cut you, but most likely you will die. Or second, we can operate. Which one do you want? And she said exactly like this, but in Latvian. And I was like, oh shit, operate, please. And then they give me something to sign. I sign it. And then basically they take me to a different place. They put me some, like a lot of these like catheter, like these things in the here. And then I go to sleep. And then I wake up. I wake up. And it happened very, very fast. So I think I went to the hospital at 1. And then I got my surgery, I think at like 1:30 or like something like that. So then the doctor comes. He's like, oh, here's what happened. You had the injured spleen, so we had to cut out the spleen. So they removed my whole spleen. You had 3 broken ribs. You had like this shoulder blade broken, and you had some lung damage. But it's like normal. It's like from the hit damage in the lungs. And we had to cut you open because we saw you losing a lot of blood, and I lost basically 1.5 liters of blood, which is quite a lot. And I asked the doctor how much I have blood based on my weight. So he said I have like 4.5 liters of blood in my body, so it's quite a bit of blood. And they did put me different person's blood as well. And another thing is that there's a new machine where you take the blood from your stomach, which you are losing, and then they circulate that blood, filter that blood, and then 1/3 of that blood they can push back to you. So they also did that for me. So 1/3 of the blood was my own. And then I wake up and I remember everything hurting, can't breathe. And this happened, by the way, 12 days ago when I'm filming this. So 12 days before I'm filming specifically this video. So couldn't breathe. And then I remember that the same day I woke up, nobody came to me, but because they couldn't come to me, they wouldn't allow visitors. But the next day, my family came and one of my friends came. So it was super hard to say anything because I'm like saying a little bit and I'm like losing my breath and I'm very dizzy and I'm like, not so good. So the first days in the hospital were terrible. It was very painful. Couldn't sleep, couldn't turn, couldn't do anything. And they had me, I was pissing in a tube and no, I wasn't even pissing. They put a tube inside of your penis and it's like, you don't even piss. It's an interesting thing. It just like goes out and you don't even feel it. This is the crazy thing. First time like that for me. So it's very interesting. And then they put like tubes here to suck out the excessive blood or some fluids. And I still have it open, like the holes here is like very weird, not so nice. Yeah, so they didn't sew them up. So they said it's gonna stick together, but it yet has not done it. So interesting. So the lessons from this was that I was rethinking a lot about the people I have in my life because I could have died and it would have been fucking awful because I think I have so much more to see, to do, and I have like people in my family and a lot of close people inside of my life, which are very important to me. And it made me think that, okay, I need to be more cautious, more prepared, not do excessive things that could be lethal or dangerous. Because I checked with one of my buddies who's a professional rider with the bikes, and he said also that this is very uncommon that something like this happens and that people like injure their internal organs and they need to cut it out. It's like not happens this very rarely happens. Okay, people break bones, but like this kind of thing that happened to Unix is like not so often. And it made me realize the value of being healthy, because when I was at the hospital, and I still am now, not able to do a lot of things which I would want to do, it made me realize like how important is health. Okay, you can have a lot of money, but if you are shitty at your health and you feel shitty, there's like nothing else you want than to be healthy. And that before I was hearing these things and I was like, yeah, I need the money. And it's like, but when I was in this situation, I realized how important actually it is to feel okay, to feel normal, to feel like everything is okay. And it's like super valuable thing if you feel amazing and great and you don't have yourself injured in a way that maybe severely limits the whole life or severely limits your abilities to do something, because it's super shitty to feel that way. Before I also had like surgeries for like my shoulder, but all of those surgeries you never feel like that, because now I felt like very like unable to breathe, unable to turn. It's like different. I don't know. Maybe I still think if you break your leg, it's still different because you feel great, but you can't just like move. But this was like completely different for me, at least feeling wise. And it made me appreciate my health. It made me appreciate the people I have in my life. And it made me realize that I need to be more careful to not injure myself, because I need to take care of them. I need to be with them, and I want to be with them, my family and my friends and my daughter, which is a very small daughter, which is like the most fun times. It's like amazing. You see my kid, it's like crazy. It's like super happy. So just wanted to share these things, kind of the injury I wanted to share. So what happened to me, so now you know. And we added also some photos. I hope you're not disgusted by them, because they're like, how it was and how it looked. So gonna get better now. They said to me that 2 months I need to be very, very careful, and then I can start probably doing some maybe gym, some running, and getting back to my health. And then I can maybe in the future. And some of them asked, will you do dirt bikes again? And the answer is yes, but I'm gonna do it in a very controlled way, in a very like not probably gonna do anything extreme for like a year. And no, an extreme I mean like these up and down mountains, which are like considered to be hard enduro things. I'm just gonna do like maybe like normal riding. So yeah, this was my personal story, personal video. So still cool if you watched it till the end. So stay sharp, and I see you in the next videos.